Tonight, a Target 12 investigators exclusive, a danger among us. Fear and outrage surround the impending release of child killer Michael Woodmansee. But we did some digging and have learned he's just one of many dangerous inmates set for early release.
The Target 12 investigators requested and poured through Department of Corrections documents. Our investigation finds over the next year, 71 ACI inmates will get out at least a year early after gaining time off thanks to the state's so-called good time law. At
the top of that list is child killer Michael Woodmansee, who has earned the most time off and whose case is a lightning rod for changing the system. Woodmansee stabbed 5-year-old Jason Foreman in 1975, but has peeled 12 years off his 40-year sentence since he was locked up in the 1980s.
Now we've discovered there are dozens of other violent offenders who will soon be on your streets early. Target 12 investigator Walt Buteau has details.
We went deep into the Eyewitness News archives to dust off the details of a case that stood out during our investigation. The story we found involves a killer who admits he did it, but he'll be out in August, almost a decade early. Joshua Witherspoon was 23 when he went to a home on George Waterman Road in Johnston in February of '92 and stabbed Stephen Lanny several times. Friends and neighbors couldn't understand why anyone would hurt the usually smiling nurse's assistant.
I feel bad. I feel bad because I've known him a long time.
We went back to the neighborhood and found out the memories are still fresh.
It was a brutal murder. It was terrible.
Witherspoon pleaded no contest and was punished with 27 years to serve. But since the cell doors closed on him the first time, he's picked up 2,752 days of freedom. The neighbor who still lives across the street from the murder scene is among those shocked. Can you believe that someone who did what this man admitted to doing is getting out 7.5 years early?
No, I don't think it's right. He should stay there for life.
After scouring spreadsheets Target 12 obtained from the Department of Corrections, we discovered an alarming trend. While Woodmansee and Witherspoon topped the list of inmates scheduled for release within a year, the next group of good time leaders is loaded with sexual offenders, including several child molesters. Here are the best of the worst. Daniel Flinkfelt, first-degree sexual assault, 2,438 days of freedom gained through the Good Time program. Ernest Hazard, first-degree child molestation, 1,943 days. Frederick Hebert, first-degree child molestation, 1,530 days. After taking a closer look at the list, we discovered 14 sex offenders will get out at least 2 years early in the coming months. Many of their victims were children.
Their childhood was robbed from them.
Jane Johnson is a sexual assault survivor who takes part in therapy programs with other victims at day one. That these guys will get out 2 years early, 3 years early, 4 years early.
I think they should have no good time behavior. I think that they need a lot of therapy, in-house therapy. For me as a victim, for them to get out 1 day early is not fair. It's just wrong.
The list of programs that earn good time is long, ranging from a class called Avatar to one for women's parenting. We found out while sex offenders get less credit for classes, they're under a 1960 formula that awards up to 10 days a month. The longer their sentence, the more good time that's awarded every month.
The reasons they're here.
Director A.T. Wall understands the public's frustration, but emphasizes he can only do what the law allows. He also tells us good time systems control prison populations and motivate inmates.
The institutions are calmer, safer, quieter, more orderly.
Still, if you live next door to a murder scene and find out the convict is getting out early, it is tough to understand.
They shouldn't be able to get out early. Not on good behavior or anything, you know. They should have to do their time.
And while Wall and others believe good time motivates sex offenders, killers, and other inmates while also easing ACI overcrowding.
That's not my problem as a victim. I don't really care. But that's the state's problem.
We come face to face with their pain and their anguish. We also understand that the job of corrections is to prepare offenders so that there will be no more victims.
The good time earned by the convicts we uncovered in this report is on the books, so they are more than likely getting out early. But the General Assembly is working on a measure that could change the law in the future. With the Target 12 investigators, Walt Buteau, Eyewitness News.
There is much more on this Target 12 Investigators exclusive online right now at WPRI.com. You'll find our complete list of Rhode Island prisoners who've earned good time along with the crimes they were convicted of. You can also read a copy of the state's good time law.